I had some friends over for dinner. We were, of course, talking about Trump, and people were saying to me, Howard, we don't think Trump's going to be the nominee. I go, I'll tell you what, I think he is. I do.
Unless he just gets out of the race. I was talking to somebody over the weekend about Trump as well, and he hasn't been in here.
You are now listening to the iWalter Show, real talk about nothing.
When he really wants to get out of the race, he'll
come
book
on this
himself
show.
here.
I haven't asked Trump to come on because I think Trump should just come on because we were always there for him when no one was looking for him. But, I'm holding back on that. I'm waiting for some, like right now everyone's interviewing Trump.
Sure.
So it's sort of
he's almost on TV every day.
Yeah. When I'm ready, we'll call in that card. But not ready yet.
But that's what I figure. He knows this show will get him thrown out of the race.
I'll tell you why I think he's going to be the nominee. He's proven that no matter what he says, people dig him.
He's like Teflon. You need a guy who's Teflon.
And I also think that a lot of people are of the mind that, A, they hate illegal immigrants, but they just feel funny saying it, whether it's rational or not. Is the illegal immigrant draining your economy? Possibly. Is he taking away your job? Possibly.
No. Stop it.
Hey, what if you cut lawns for a living? Whatever it is. So, how many radio guys I know have lost their jobs to illegal immigrants?
Yes.
But anyway, so whatever it is, but I think more or less people are just sick and tired of politicians, meaning that they like the idea of a successful businessman running the country who might actually be able to get shit done. But the problem with it is, and Donald Trump will find this, being the president isn't like being the president of a corporation. You still got to go through Congress for everything you want to do. And that's the tough part. You've got to be one who can consolidate on both sides of the aisle, some sort of coalition. And it's very difficult. But
as we've seen over the years. And some of the things he's proposing just won't happen as a result.
Yeah, but people are just fed up with that. So, Ronald Reagan was in Bedtime for Bonzo. He was a B-list movie star who became a very successful president. And so they're looking back to those days and going, hey, maybe that's the answer. Forget all these politicians who are professionals. We want to try somebody who is used to a business kind of thing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interrunti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to me. This is iWalter. It is Wednesday, August 26th at 4 o'clock in the morning. I seem like I'm getting started later every time. Yeah, I actually took the whole segment. I found it online. I do actually have Sirius right now, which I actually was listening to for a while there. I actually gave up already. For the free month they offered me on, you can get on your iPhone and stuff like that. But I honestly haven't listened to them. I actually haven't listened to Rush Limbaugh lately either, because I'm just trying to make sure I focus on my shows and see how they sound after I'm done. So anyway, I'm going to do this first, get this out of the way, because I do this for my friend Matt. I wanted to just let you know that I think he has another website, which I'm going to try to present to you right now. I'm getting this done first. I usually do it at the end of my show, but you know what? I don't know how long people listen to it, so I basically want people, I want to put a plug out for my friend, Matt. He has a business. I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize my speaker was on still. Anyway, my friend Matt has his own business. MusicTeacherGuy.com was his original site, but now he has one called PrivateMusicLessons.com. Let me repeat that again. It's PrivateMusicLessons.com. Now, that's really cool, though, because basically what Matt does, he has other teachers that work for him or, they work for him. And he tries to fit the right person for whatever you want to learn, which could be keyboards and piano, could be electronic bass guitar, could be electric guitar, could even be acoustic guitar. And I'm sure if you had something else that you were like kind of interested in, Matt would try to fit it in, that he would make sure that he would find the right fit for you. He would find somebody, or at least try to make an attempt to find an instructor that can help you out. But they come to your house. The lessons could be either a half hour or an hour, depending. And you can actually, there's different ways. If you have a couple kids, you can divide that hour into 2 different lessons within that hour. But that's all up to the individual. So anyway, it looks like he says he has a free consultation. Again, it's PrivateMusicLessons.com if you want to find out more information. His contact information is 610-804-6968. Again, that is 610-804-6968. He also does Skype lessons if you like that, would like to go that direction. You can contact him practically at any time. And if you would even like to email Matt, you could actually get him at music.teacher.guy@gmail.com. So he gives you a lot of alternatives to contact him. I would definitely recommend, if you were interested in taking lessons, I would definitely contact Matt. He seems like, he's very, how can I say it? He's really into what he's doing. He takes his job very seriously. It's actually his own business. But, yes, he takes it very serious. And it says music lessons on Skype. What he can teach you is, because he'll do that himself, he has acoustic guitar, electric bass guitar, and keyboard and piano. So Matt will do that with you. If you don't want him to come to the house and you want to do it through the internet, he can do that too. So that being said, remember, check out PrivateMusicLessons.com. That's Matt's newest web link, and I would recommend that. So anyway, I'm going to go on to some other stuff. It is very early in the morning. I did want to play the Stern thing first. I was kind of interested in what he had to say, so I found it online. I didn't feel like trying to rip it from Skype. I got Skype on my mind because of Matt. No, I did not want to try to rip it from Sirius. I don't think it would be that easy. Probably it is. I just don't want to be bothered, and then I have to wait till the show is broadcast. I don't even know if I'm allowed to download them. But anyway, it was pretty cool. I saw this thing tonight. I was at work, by the way. It's something different, and I don't know even where I saw it. It looks like I found it on Twitter, and it's so crazy. It was just kind of funny. I mean, it's a little ridiculous, I know. But it was from a YouTube thing, and it's called Cat Hospital Just Wrecks a Meow Practice and Scandal. So it's a soap opera with humans and cats. And I looked at it. Yeah, I know, because my one friend Matt would say, you know what, people just seem to, how they seem to be amused by animals all the time. But this one actually was really amusing, I thought. It's called Baxter as Nurse Mittens. And the cat's got a nurse's hat on it. And it's supposed to be, I know it sounds ridiculous, but the cat's basically a floozy and sleeping with different men at the hospital, different doctors. I mean, it's a fucking cat, though. That's what the thing. And there's other cats and stuff in this. They basically set it up. They make it look kind of hazy, and make it look like a dreamy effect, but it's supposed to be a soap opera with cats and humans and relationships. I guess it's supposed to be, what do you call it? interracial relationships, but it's with animals too. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. Here's another thing I saw tonight, and it was they are releasing the Hobbit extended edition. It says the Hobbit trilogy extended edition series is going to be in the movie theaters for, I think, 3 nights. And it's like, yeah, maybe the 3 nights are actually for the one film because that's how long it's going to take. I'm being sarcastic, but the Hobbit, the expected journey is on Monday, October 5th. And it says the Hobbit, a disillusion of Smog or something. I don't even know these freaking things. I didn't bother to go see them. It's on Wednesday, October 7th, and it says The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies, Tuesday, October 13th. Knowing how the other ones were really long, I'm sure these are just as long, probably like 5 hours. Who knows? I mean, I'm sorry, I can't deal with that. I mean, unless it's something I really like Doctor Who, I probably possibly could do it. But I hate to tell you, there's no way you're going to get me. I mean, you would have to tie me down and scotch tape my eyes open just to make me watch these films. And pump me up with caffeine because there's no fucking way I'll be out like a light. You know what's kind of weird? I've noticed this before where I get these really hot-looking girls that ask me to add them to. This time it was Twitter, but it's either Twitter, Facebook, and stuff. And then I look. The key thing is that you know that it's a scam or some way of getting spam mail or spam advertisements onto your link. As you look to see if they have any pictures or any information about the person that is, more than just a picture. And when you find out, okay, it's just one photo, and there's nothing else about this person. In fact, they don't even have a background description. That's usually a dead ringer that, okay, this is just some type of spam thing or, some type of thing. Because most of the times what they do then is they pour porn on your website. And it was like, okay. But this girl is really hot looking. It's but it's on Twitter and her name is Megan Alice or something, or it's Alyse. I know I'm way off, but it's I'm afraid to add her because then I'll find out I'll start getting all this porn on my Facebook page. Because I fell for that one time, or maybe obviously more than once, and I learned my lesson after a while. I was like, okay, if you add these people randomly, eventually you're gonna get all this freaking spam porn on your website, and it's it makes you look bad. So I'm very suspicious when somebody doesn't have much information on their web link. I'm going through the news now first, and if I have any complaints to do, which I always do, I do actually have a little bit. Oh, this is pretty interesting. I'm going to have to open that up now, too. Sorry, I always find more information to talk about it, even after I make a little bit of a 5-second show prep. This is on Bloody Disgusting. Why, I don't know, but War of the Planet of the Apes begins casting. Instead of a straight-up remake, 20th Century Fox decided to tell the origin story of the classic Planet of the Apes, in which our world was overrun by talking apes. It started with an incredible rise of the Planet of the Apes and continued with Matt Reeves' directed Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Now a full-blown war is upon us. Casting is now underway for War of the Planet of the Apes with Gabriel. I can't say his name. You know what the only thing is, though, I have a problem with is I really like the original Planet of the Apes. I like the costumes. Now it's these CG'd apes that just look a little too realistic. I like the costumes. I'm sorry, I'm old school. And 2, it was actually the original was done by Rod Serling, who is the most incredible man in the world to me when it comes to really weird things. So, and you had a lot of great actors in those. Even the one that Tim Burton did was not that bad because he kept a lot of the old school style to it. These new ones, I could barely stomach watching the second one, the sequel. It just, wasn't that impressive to me. I was okay. And I actually ended up renting it And it was like, boy, I just wasted my money. This is not what I expected. Anyway, the thing that caught my attention, I just added. Not that I'm a big fan. It's just kind of cool, I guess. It says Slipknot is actually Summer Last Stand Tour. And it's not even playing around us, but it just popped up and was like, wow. Usually they tell you when it's around you. I don't think this is anywhere remotely close to me. So anyway, there's this other film, and it's funny because it looks like my one friend Ryan's film, and I thought they kind of like watching a teaser, I thought they might have ripped him off. It's by this guy, director Mike Chester, but yeah, I looked at it and they said, oh, no, this film was made like 3 years ago. So I don't know, but it's Mike Chester's directorial debut of The Trick or Treaters. But it looks like my one friend's Ryan's film, Agony. I mean, it looks like the same kind of idea. So I was like, Ryan, you might have a case here, but actually it was done way beforehand. Basically, the whole thing about this movie, the whole, I'm not going to say because I'm going to say synapses, and that's not right. So, during a mellow pre-Halloween night of drinks, pranks, and horror films, Amy and Jake filmed the last-minute scheduled video for their school annual Halloween fundraiser. But they are quickly interrupted by a strange group of trick-or-treaters also equipped with video cameras. Dismissing it as a prank by their friends, they ignore the strange interruption and continue their night. As the strange things continue to occur and escalate to an extreme level, the students quickly discover that they are dealing with dark individuals, and they don't want candy. But I looked at this, I swear, it looks like it was on this web link that's on Facebook and on Twitter, Beneath the Underground, which Ryan is a part of. But it really looks like something almost Ryan would have done. So it's kind of interesting. It's just funny. I guess I would have to leave it at that. So I felt bad for Ryan. It was like, because this film is actually, I guess it's just going to be released as a DVD release. I don't think it's going to be released as a theatrical film. But it was like I felt bad for him because I really enjoyed his. Different note, I saw this article tonight and it was like, okay, I read the little bit underneath and it was really heartwarming. And it was on myfoxphilly.com and it says, photographer makes heartbreaking discovery while documenting, it looks like Honduras homeless or something. And basically, this woman who was doing the filming, who was filming this or taking photos of this homeless guy, she didn't realize, but she did after a while, that it was actually her father. Yeah, the photographer and law student's father left the family when she was very young, and as a result, she spent early years of her life moving around, according to Villanova. They stayed with friends and relatives and even had to find shelter in cars or make do in parks. This woman's name's Kim anyway. However, Kim was able to get back to on her feet and establish a stable home in, again, it looks like, oh, maybe it's, know what it is? I'm sorry, it's Honolulu. Honolulu. Well, it's Honolulu is the way I pronounce it. It's basically in Hawaii, with her husband and 2 sons. As for her father, the only thing she had left of him was her love of photography. Inspired by by her own struggles during her childhood, Kim begins pursuing a career in law and advocacy, focusing on home. Basically, she started a thing like basically on the homeless, I guess, making it known, so to speak. Focusing on the homeless. So she had created a campaign called the Homeless Paradise. It aims to raise awareness on cities' homeless concerns through photographs and interviews conducted with the homeless population. So I'm not going to read any more, but yeah, if you read on, basically when she does this photo thing, this photo like kind of documentary or whatever, she stumbles upon her father, which apparently was one of the homeless people. So there's a ton of pictures. And yeah, I mean, you just look at the pictures and it almost just really just breaks your heart that this woman like actually surprisingly finds her father. So that's really cool, to say the least. I'm just gonna go through the way I didn't put them in any order. You know, I just put things on my Facebook page as I see them. There is no reason or any other reason or, rhyme why I do stuff the way I do. I just, I see something I like, I post on my Facebook page. So anyway, this is why I'm saying this, because the next article thing I had up in my queue was cinemablend.com, and I read this before, but this is an actual article. Blade may return to the movie theaters with a major change, which I've already said. It's been now more than a full decade since we last saw the vampire hunting daywalker known as Blade on the silver screen. I really like those Blade movies. I know I mentioned that before. But in the new rumors but if the new rumors are to be believed, then the character may soon be making a comeback, but rather than a movie following the incarnation fans are familiar with from the Wesley Snipes films, it appears that a new movie about the hero would actually center on his daughter. Okay, so that's where they're going. So it's going to be a different person, I guess, other than Blade. It's going to be a female, his daughter again. It's been previously revealed that Marvel Comics is launching a new series following the adventures of Blade's offspring, but the Bleeding Cool is reporting that the issues are being delayed because the comic is being seen as extremely important by the bean counters and the multimedia folk. As the company, according to the site's sources, the reason for this is because Marvel Studios is planning a new Blade film and want to lead the character to be a vampire hunter's daughter. I know I'm messing that up. It's on Cinema Blend if you want to actually decipher what I'm reading right now. Introduced by Marvel Comics via the series The Tomb of Dracula, Blade a.k.a. Eric Brooks is a half vampire, half human who dedicates his life towards eradicating fanged bloodsuckers. He has been around since the early 1970s, but saw a huge surge in the popularity in the late 1990s when the I can't pronounce that. Where do you come up with these words? Wesley Snipes movie began getting released. Sorry about that. There's this one word it's just I'm really stumped on. I wish I had somebody who could actually help me with this stuff. In many ways, the series that got modern comic book movies going is Blade and the sequel Blade 2, which I did like both, were both surprisingly successful when they were released in 1998 and 2002, respectively. The last in the series, Blade Trinity, made almost the same amount of money as the first Blade, but was critically reviled to the point that it killed the franchise. So basically, the third movie got a really bad review. I didn't particularly like the third one. I did like the first two. I really liked the first two. So I have to agree with that. And Wesley Snipes was like really good in those films. Okay, yeah, I have another one from a different source, besthorrormovies.com. That's the actual name of the website. So it's best-horror.movies.com. And it says, check out the real inspirations for Victor Salva's Jeepers Creepers. Some may be surprised by just how many genre films are based, even if only loosely, on actual events. Serial killers, strange phenomena, and horrific events serve as inspiration for terror pieces on a reasonably regular basis. Take, for example, Psycho, which is loosely based on the story of Ed Gwynn, the insane Wisconsin native that robbed graves, murdered women, and fashioned all sorts of trinkets from bones and other remains on numerous corpses. Next, it says the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is like Psycho, is also a spin on Ed Gwynn's unearthing story. Or Hoboken Hollow, which reimagines the true story of the infamous Texas slave ranch. We can keep on going and mention pictures like The Mothman Prophecies, The Possession, The Entity, The Conjuring, Borderland, Dead Ringer, Them, and Wolf Creek. Just a few other films that were inspired by factual occurrences. And that's just the very tip of the iceberg. The list stretches on and on. Well, this article goes on and on, too. I just wanted to see what they said. And if I don't read it yet, I'll tell you where to go again. Just go to besthorrormovies.com. Unless I can kind of cut through, because it says something about Nightmare on Elm Street. The surprises tend to come in the movies that are so outrageous that it seems entirely impossible that there's any shred of reality tucked into the single scene. And it says A Nightmare on Elm Street is the perfect example of such works. There is no possible way that the creation of a monstrosity like Freddy Krueger could have been inspired by something that happened outside of the dream world where you and I live. Interestingly enough, that's both accurate and inaccurate, and an inaccurate statement. It says, we know that severely scared, supernatural, vengeful creatures like Krueger cannot exist in the realm. However, death in the dream most certainly can. It says that the film and Wes Craven, who wrote and directed it, exhibited influences from the specific case that involved a group of young, seemingly healthy Cambodian immigrants that all died mysteriously in their sleep. A Nightmare on Elm Street is quite clearly a fictional piece, but there are some truths to the terrifying tale. And it still does not tell you. I think it might be coming up, because I'm going to leave like some of this story for people to read if they want to. That way, I won't completely sabotage it. Anyway, and that brings us to another wild film that also features a far-fetched creature and a bizarre set of circumstances. It says Victor Salva's 2001 fan favorite, Jeepers Creepers. Salva's engaging monster movie introduces a beast that feasts on anyone who possesses the physical feature. The first flick heavily emphasizes on the eyes in particular that he takes a liking to. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut that off. I'm sorry. Some of these words I really do stumble on. I don't even try this. I mean, usually when you read an article, it's like meant for like 6th grade readers. But some of these words are not exactly there. The creature emerges from the deep sleep once every 23 years to wreak havoc on unexpected for 23 consecutive days. I had to leave a word out, by the way. That's why I said what I just mentioned. The creeper sprouts wings, sports scaly skin, and has a stiffer, so refined a police canine who howl in jealous fit. Now, it doesn't still tell you how this fits into the reality world. And while none of this is these particular things are derived from actual events, one of the creeper's habits is indeed based on fact. Please tell us what it is, please, because it's driving me insane at this point. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to see. I should have, you know what, some of these articles, I have to read them right away because I'll forget. 2 spots. I'm trying to go through this, folks. Okay, I guess they're talking about the chain of events. Revisiting the flick, and make note that the creepy church in that Derry and Trish Pass in the opening frames of the feature. The two spot something out of the ordinary. The creeper himself hauling what appears to be a body wrapped in bloody white sheets. The monster dumps the package down on a sizable chute before noticing Derry and Trish driving by watching the scene unfold. The creeper takes flight, while not literally, which he is capable of, but figuratively speaking, as he books for his truck. Immediately following the two siblings, uncorking an entirely new degree of terror. It is a tense sequence of events, villain all but forcing two unfortunate passerbys from the road. The chase ends shortly after it begins. The two make their way back to the chute, out of the concerns for who could potentially be wrapped in that sheet. So they basically turn around and they go back, because I can't remember this movie for the life of me. I did see it, though. And Derry points out, behind the old church where they eventually uncover the creeper's perturbing collection of preserved bodies in a subterranean house of horrors. It still doesn't really say anything much about where they could have made this probably a little bit shorter in this article, but whatever. The entire string of events particularly relevant because not the monster himself was indeed inspired by the actual events. Okay, finally. In 1990, Michigan resident Dennis D. Paul was placed under a microscope, the subject of a police manhunt. The man murdered his wife and dumped her body behind an abandoned schoolhouse. As the story goes, the murder was an unforgiven act of vengeance after his wife filed for a divorce, which led to Paul to executing the woman, high school counselor Marilyn DePaul, shooting her in the back of the head. So there is a little bit more, but it's just, you know what? I've already destroyed that article. So the bottom line is, folks, that a lot of these horror movies are influenced by actual events in real life, and then they're basically just fictionalized. So yeah, I can see that. I wish I would have just probably looked a little bit closer before reading it. Okay, there was something that was really cool, and I might read this next one. And it was, no, I lost it. Sorry. Let me go back. It was really cool, and I had to read this. It was on Daily Mail News, and it says, it's basically a picture with this man who has no arms, and he's actually taking care of his sick mother. He's feeding her by holding, like he's feeding her, like in the picture, he's feeding her, it looks like almost like oatmeal, but he's feeding her with his mouth, but not with his mouth. He's holding a spoon with his mouth. So he's actually taking care of his sickly mother, and the man has no arms. So that's like really touching. I mean, that's amazing. It looks like it could be rice because he's Asian. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it does look like rice now that I look closer. This picture that moved China, devoted son who lost both arms to electric shock, spoon-fed sick mother using his teeth. You know, that is incredible that man is taking care of his, his mother, his sick mother. 48-year-old looks after paralyzed mother despite his disability. Since losing his arms at the age of 7, he has learned to cope with just his feet. He also runs a small holding in Chongqing, southwest China, as well as cook. He's able to farm, peel corn, and even weave baskets. But yeah, these pictures are amazing. I mean, yeah. He's basically very self-sufficient, and he has no arms. So, and he's able now to take care of his sickly mother. So that was really touching. I'm sorry, because there was another one that kind of caught my attention, because I haven't watched this show in a while, The Big Bang Theory, but they have that one chick. She's the one who's the nerdy one. It's Sheldon's girlfriend. And I can't say her name now. That's really bad. And I hate to say it. No offense to her. I heard she's like really super smart. But for some reason, she looks like the green wicked witch in The Wizard of Oz. She looks like that actress in the makeup, without the makeup on. She's got a really weird looking face. I'm sorry, she's not attractive at all. Big Bang Theory actress, which I'm not going to pronounce her name right, so I'm not going to even bother, hit back at critics who slammed her for talking about her faith after an interview about why religion is not seen as trendy in Hollywood. So she said not trendy to be religious in Hollywood, and it seems that I'm going to have to find a place I could say her name. It's not even that important. This is a freaking blogcast that nobody really probably listens to anyway. Since the Big Bang Theory actress has been forced to defend herself against critics who slammed her for talking about her religious faith. She's only 39, too, also. I don't know. She's not. I'm not going to say it again. The 39-year-old wrote on her Facebook page to the man who demolished me for discussing religion because it's supposed to be a private matter. It is private until Fox News asks you about it because you're on a TV show. So she actually had to defend herself about religion. Yeah. Some of the pictures, she doesn't look too bad. And I'm like really stretching that. I wish I could just say her name correctly. You know what's actually pretty funny, too? I forget what movie. The one guy in The Big Bang Theory. It's I don't even remember his name. But he's the one who's supposed to be engaged to Kelly Kuko. I saw him in some horror film. Oh, okay. It was I Know What You Did Last Summer. He was in the original film. It was like, oh my God. He was so young, and I didn't even recognize him for about a few seconds, and was like, wait, that is him, though. So that was really cool, because all I thought I knew him from was from, Big Bang Theory. Anyway, I think it was yesterday probably at this point. Maybe it was today, but it was on iHeart, and it says, happy birthday to the one favorite twisted visionary, and that was Tim Burton. So it was either today or yesterday. I would assume it was yesterday at this point that it was Tim Burton's birthday. So if it was yesterday, happy belated birthday, Tim Burton. If it's today, happy birthday, Tim Burton. So, yeah, I think I botched up enough stories now. I don't think I have anything else. You know what? I don't know if I mentioned this, but that Walking Dead spinoff they had on Sunday, I actually watched part of it. I tail end at one point and in the beginning at another point. Fear of the Walking Dead. And I thought it was all right. But I'll be quite honest with you. I don't see myself continuing to watch it. It's just basically another drama from a drama. Even though it's about zombies, it's still a drama. No matter how you look at it, it's a drama. So, I stole some. I didn't steal. I basically shared John Dyack or something. He was the guy who did the tour guide when I went to Penhurst. He put up this really cool picture of this doll protruding from a wall, like this doll, and it's all like almost mildewy, moldy, but it does look pretty creepy though. But it was on my Facebook page. I may well mention this. A friend actually mentioned this. Like, I'll tell people, well, I won't say where I work, but yet if you look at my Facebook page, it's there. And it's like, yeah, I am definitely playing with fire. I'm actually playing not only with fire, probably with gasoline and fire. By saying, oh, I'm not going to mention where I work, which I don't on my radio show, but it is posted on my Facebook page. So, yes. Actually, I don't see it anymore. Maybe they had taken it off or something. Because I don't remember doing it myself. Whatever. And you know what? I honestly kind of almost really don't care, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't be doing stuff like that if I did care. But that was funny today, because I'll leave at that. And pretty much. But I came into work, and it was funny because we had this thing, I don't know if most places it's like they call it a town hall meeting. Basically, it's a meeting that, the higher-ups, some people from the higher-ups basically tell you what's going on with the place I work. It was like, okay, this is great. But the guy who gives, I'm not even kidding, the guy who gave this quote-unquote town hall meeting, he looks just like Steve Jobs. Like, it looked like Steve Jobs is not dead. He faked his own death, and now he's working for the company where I work at. Because you look at him, he doesn't really sound like him, but he looks like the spitting image of Steve Jobs. And I'm not even kidding. It's actually, like, kind of scary. So, anyway, unfortunately, this guy has actually put on some weight since in the past so many months or year or so. So obviously he's not Steve Jobs, because Steve Jobs got really thin towards the end too from his disease he had, whatever it was, what he died from. You know what? Maybe I'll have to look that up, because I should know this and I don't remember. So let me look that up. I got to get the clickety-click. And I'm being quiet, I know. Okay, Steve Jobs was born 24th, 1955 in San Francisco, California, and he died on the 5th of 2011. Wow, that's 4 years ago. Steve Jobs died at the age of 56. Apple officials did not actually mention a specific cause of death, so I can't even say. But they said it's pancreatic cancer, though. Yeah, but this guy, he was really putting on a good. He was basically saying it because he couldn't say it. I'll say it, but he was like, "Oh, I'm not going to basically bullshit you." He didn't say that, but I'm saying it. I'm not going to bullshit you. This is what this higher up was saying. But, we're not going to, I don't want to see anybody lose their job. And even though we know already by October, more people are going to be losing their jobs. And it's just going to continue in that direction, that more and more people at where I work are going to be losing their jobs. So this guy says, as far as I'm concerned, he said, nobody's going to be losing their jobs. I don't want anybody to go. I need everybody we have at this point. And it's like, okay, lie number one. Anyway, I just have to put something in. And, I mean, the man just really continued in that direction, but then he was, like, saying something on the line of, what was it? Besides that, I don't want nobody's going to get laid off as long as I'm here or we're concerned. It was like, dude, you're lying, but that's all right. And he believed it. He actually believed his, like when you're such a good liar that you even convince yourself like what you're saying is like you fool yourself basically, and that's exactly what this guy did. But then he said, somebody actually stood up and asked a question. They said, so are we going to have any more layoffs? Because this guy said, I'm already at the end, that if there's another set of layoffs, this older guy, he said, I'm going to be out the door. I said, I want to know. And that's where he said, oh yeah, there's not going to be any more layoffs. Don't worry about your job. And it's like, when they say, don't worry about your job's going to be there. It means you're gone, Bottom line, you're fucked. So this guy didn't want to say this, and I'm like, are you serious? You really want me to believe this bullcrap? I mean, I have enough problems at work with these people just every day making my life a living hell. But now you're getting it from the management now, too, that they're convinced that you're that stupid, and they are convinced that, we are telling you, you're going to believe it even after we tell you that we're not lying to you. This is not bullshit. Well, yeah, it is. Because it was so thick. I would need boots like the ones you go when you go like fishing in the pond. Those rubber boots that go all the way up to your, basically to your crotch almost. That's how thick it was. And it was something else he said. It was just like, I can't believe he's actually saying this. But, now here was a statistic, and it was like, okay, this one is, this guy, if he was an actor, he would have won this higher up. He would have won an Academy Award because the shit was so fucking deep that I couldn't believe he said that. It was like, I can't believe you're actually saying that, and you were saying it not only with a convincing face, but you're also saying that you convince yourself what you just said is the absolute truth. It was like, dude, it's like one of those things you want to do that clapping thing like this, and then everybody else starts clapping too because, it's such a strong statement, but a strong statement of bullshit though. So he basically said though, somebody stood up also, somebody else at one point, and they said, well, how's the company doing? And they said, well, a couple of people, different managers from different departments, different buildings said, well, we are not doing good at all. We are actually doing really bad. And that we're like our shrinkage. I'm going to say shrinkage, basically the shrinkage of what they're losing on the manufacturing is like phenomenal. And they said, okay, we got allowance of $9 million per year that we're allowed to let flush down the shitter from where we work. $9 million. That's a lot of fucking money. You could be, hoping that people would make mistakes like that. But $9 million is the allotment you're allowed every year to lose product. So he said, well, we're already at, we're higher than that. And then somebody said, what, like 10 million? It was like, no, you got to go higher. 12 million? No, you got to go higher. It's more like 14 or 15 million already for the year that we've lost. So that's almost over what is it? 1.5 times more than they allowed, money that's just being flushed down the shitter. And it doesn't even flinch them. So, there's something fishy about that. And he says, oh, yeah, by the end of the year, I expect that our losses are going to be close to $25 million. And he said it with not even being worried about it. He's like, he's not concerned. It's like, okay, so you're not worried about, your allotment of, what you're allowed to lose on product and stuff. Is supposed to be no more than $9 million a year, and it's going to be 25 expected. That is what you call a write-off, and they're doing this because they're planning something a lot bigger than they're telling you. So that was the thing, and that's what I mean about the bullshit that was going on today. So, but I could see it, and it was like, I'm not that stupid. I think most people, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't think they're that stupid either. It's just really scary. And then he convinces you, oh, I'm projecting what's going to happen in the next, I'm going to hypothetically speak now, like the next 10 or 20 years. It's like, it's not going to be around for another year or two. And you're talking like way in the future that you can see this company prosper and everybody else that still exists at this plant site that I work at. No, there's going to be a handful of people if you're lucky, but not even that. So I don't know. That just was, my jaw dropped to the ground at hearing this BS come out of this guy's mouth, though. So yeah. So he actually was he was so intrigued by what he was saying, it was coming out of his mouth, that he even fooled himself. But there was more I wanted to say. I'm just drawing a blank because it's going on 5 o'clock in the morning now. So yeah. So it's scary for me actually, though. And most people, you know what? They are it's the weird thing is they are worried about their job, but then you kind of think about it, and it's like they're worried, but they're doing the exact same thing which caused these problems to begin with. They continue to make these mistakes. So it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe this is just destined to fail. This company is just destined to do the carry thing. The whole foundation is going to sink under the ground, and whoever walks by is going to be grabbed by one of us who are now in the depths of hell from basically, the people who have sold their souls to the devil. So anyway, I pull up my friend's webpage. I'm going to give him a plug before the end of the show, too. Hopefully I'm not one of those people, but because I'm very superstitious when it comes to religious things. But there was another thing he said. Oh, now this one is another one that needs a hand clap. Everybody's got to stand up for this one too. Was he also somebody asked him? They said, "Well, is this our fault that all these products are on a?" I'm going to play the devil's advocate from all the people being laid off. So we got less people now, and now the percentage of mistakes, injuries that are happening as well have skyrocketed. He says, oh, yeah, they've gone up way more than what's acceptable. And he said, oh, I'm going to try to shoot. This same guy was giving all this bullshit. Said by next year, I expect us to be like the injuries. I'm going to try to hit a projectile of 2%. Okay, it's already off the charts on the amount of people getting hurt. And you want it down to 2% by next year. It's like you really are smoking some good fucking crack. And it's not Walter Wright's, because nobody would be thinking that delusional. But he is. And he really believes what he's saying, what's coming out of his mouth. I mean, it literally was coming out like fecal matter. And he was to him, in his eyes, he was just seeing a bed of roses coming out of his mouth. Not shit. I mean, bullshit. So anyway, while he was telling this really crazy story about that, when somebody asked him, I mean, it's an obvious answer to this. Okay, you lay off a lot of people. You lay off almost 60% of the workforce that works at this plant site. A lot of people are getting hurt. A lot of product is going down, is getting destroyed. It's basically because we can't use it. And it's off the charts. I mean, it's just basically, it's total crap. You can't sell it to the public. So it's basically getting destroyed. It's getting thrown out. And his answer was, well, believe it or not, it's not because the employees are making mistakes. It's because who we are buying the stuff we use, the sources of material we use, the manufacturers we buy the raw material off of, it's their fault. It's not our fault. That's actually what he said. And it was like, oh my God, my head was ready to like do a scanners and just blow up. It's like, are you serious? Are you fucking serious? You're going to tell everybody here, the handful that showed up, that the reason that we lost $15 million and possibly $25 million worth of stuff was because it wasn't our fault. It was because it was somebody else's fault. And I'm not even making this up. I'm not even exaggerating. He really said that. So in his statement, it's not that we're fucking up. It's that the manufacturers are sending faulty material for us to make our products in. And it was like, you are really smoking some good crack. But you know what it is also? The underlying statement why he said that, because he's going to downsize even more, or this company is going to downsize even more in October, and probably even more so in the upcoming years. And by them saying, well, it's not the employer's fault, or the employee's fault, that it's somebody else's fault, that's just an open invitation to say we're going to lay off more people because, look, we got a handful of people doing the job we had 60 people doing, and the job's getting done right. So the mistakes aren't from the employees, it's from the manufacturers. Kramer, it's from the manufacturers. So, that's just like fucking ridiculous. And that was a really bad interpretation of Seinfeld. But yeah, can you believe that? Can you believe that? So, I was like, whoa, please just get me out of this nightmare. This was a real nightmare, by the way. So, that being said, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. So, I'll leave you go tonight, and I will leave you also with, please check out once again my friend Matt Torrance's website. It's privatemusiclessons.com, and you can contact him at 610-804-6968. Or you can even contact him through email on music.teacher.guy@gmail.com, which he also gives Skype lessons. And if you want any other information, you will find it on that page or musicteacherguy.com. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed my show. Not much more to say. And I got to go to bed. So I'm sorry. Everyone, have a good night, and I am signing off for now.